never been good. Yeah, I've never heard that before.
1st and 10, and yep, they're in that formation. A sight for sore eyes for this crowd. They do it once, and we'll say it twice. Tennessee has a win. Tennessee beats Notre Dame, and for the first time since season 11, Tennessee is 1-0.
Week 1 in the books. It's that time again. Welcome back, everyone, to the Cole Mantell Show. It's going to be another great episode with 3 more great guests, 2 returning, 1 new guest this week. We're going to start with the AD, went 8-0 in the regular season last year, wants to win a championship again, wins his Week 1 game. Justin Duke, the Auburn AD. How are you doing, Justin?
Doing great, man. Glad to be back. You know, you've been dodging me for like 6 weeks now, it feels like, but it's cool I'm here.
Yeah. You know, it's funny because I try to spread out the guests, and I have like a whole plan, and this happened last week too. And then I have like 2 guys that drop day of, and it's just figuring it all out is a pain in the ass. But yeah, Beard on Blast, aka Justin Duke. Glad to have you back on the show. Next up is going to be a first-time guest. Been trying to get you. I feel like we've been trying to get you on for at least a month, but we finally got it to work here. The Texas A&M Athletic Director, Kade Padgett, recent victor over Michigan State. How you doing, Kade?
I'm doing good, Cole. Yeah, it seems like we've been playing relative phone tag for about a month, trying to figure out what schedule works and who can be what, be where, and all that good stuff. But I'm glad it finally worked out. I'm glad to be here.
And yeah, I mean, on that front, you know, we usually record this on a Thursday or Friday. Obviously, my work is the last few weeks has been on the weekend, so I try to have this all produced and ready to go before Saturday, so I can just upload it at work and, you know, not have a big deal of it. But you know, then my schedule switches and everyone else's schedule switches, and it's a pain in the ass. So, like I said, glad to have you 2 on. And our final guest, we were going to originally have a different guy on here. We're going to have him on next week because I feel like we're going to talk about him a lot today, and I want to talk about that story a lot. So I had to get a Florida State guy. We're going to get Tom on. He originally was going to be on, but unfortunately he had some work stuff come up. Speaking of which, you know, the work stuff. But we did get another Florida State guy on. He was on the first ever edition of this podcast, and I think that was the last time you were on. It's Tankasaurusrex, the Florida State recruiting coordinator. How you doing?
I'm doing good. Had a great win this week, so I'm very, very, very happy.
Yeah, all 3 of my guests, unlike myself, did win their games this week. And, there's a little bit of a joke there, and obviously Texas A&M is going to have a lot to talk about.
I was about to say, one of them was against you.
But I do actually want to highlight that because I had some questions this week from a few schools, like, hey, I want to be on. And it's good. I think schools are realizing there's a lot of recruiting or just school brand in the CFSL advertisement you can do on this podcast. I think Tennessee was a big one from a few weeks ago. The issue is, obviously, I want to get guys that are coming in. So I wanted to get guys either had big games or they win their game. That's usually what I'm trying to get on these in-season podcasts. We'll get into the structure of the podcast in season as well here. We're going to talk about the games. We're going to talk about the players. We're going to talk about Week 1 in general, and then Week 2 coming up as well. I mean, that's basically going to be the podcast today. And again, having guys that had big games, there's a reason to really do that and have those guys on. But glad to have all of you guys here. We'll just jump right into it, right? Have you guys all seen the Week 1 Season 21 Player of the Week survey? It's out. I can go over the guys here. I do want to touch on this because I think it's kind of a good indication of where, like, what I'll do is I'll go through them and I'll ask, like, who you guys are going to vote for and
yeah, I think I know. I voted earlier, so I kind of know who I voted for already.
I voted earlier too. Let's see if I can pull it up.
You won't be
I
able
was gonna say, I don't think we can be able to pull it up.
It always happens, and I will screenshot it here for you guys and throw it in chat because I knew it was going to happen, that people were going to have to vote for it, and we're going to mess it up. So again, we're recording Friday afternoon. Frosty has just dropped the Week 1 Player of the Week.
Stupid ADs that are on top of their jobs voting.
Yeah, I know, right?
Shame on us.
Shame.
As my screenshot tool decides to fall apart as well. That's going to be very helpful. Thank you, Giazzo. So I'm going to read them aloud here, and I'll post them in a minute when my screenshot tool decides to actually start working. The Offensive Player of the Week, so we'll talk about that real quick, because I think this will be a pretty quick conversation. Offensive Player of the Week, the nominees: wide receiver Dave Axis, quarterback Kevin Price, UNC, quarterback TJ Cunnington, UK, wide receiver Isaiah Love Jr., Oregon, in a game that I did call, quarterback Timoteo Del Este from that same game, Oregon versus Oklahoma, and then quarterback Jalen Tyree, Ohio State. So I'm just going to start real quick.
Well.
And
Go ahead and start with Tank.
No. I want to ask just here. I was able to finally get in the chat there. I'm going to ask real quick for the Offensive Player of the Week. Is anyone here against Cunnington winning? Is there anyone here that thinks that
I will
Cunnington
put my
should not
hand
be
up
winning?
as high as
Who you
possible.
like.
I was going to say, did you not see that coming?
And it's not a yes.
All right.
Okay.
So you're going to make a case for Dave Axis.
I'm not going to say
ahead.
that what he did was not
Rep your
phenomenal.
team.
That was insane. It literally will probably not get another performance like that all year. But look at who he did it against. Like that was my whole thing. It was like he did it versus a Clemson team that wasn't really the best in my opinion. So like, and they're very new. So it could be where you have guys like, I mean, he's at Kentucky, where we know Kentucky is a very, very, very steadfast team. Like they're a perennial top 5, top 10 team in this league. So we expected you to light up Clemson. I really did. I think nobody here, I would hope, expected him not to light up Clemson. So for me, it was just like, okay, you did have a great game, but only it's Clemson. That's how I put it.
Tank, I'll stop you right there and make this real simple for you.
Real quick, I do want to interject, and Beard, I'll get to you in a second. For the record, there were 4 teams on this podcast that we chose. All 4 people chose to win and thought, yeah, everyone believes that this team's going to crush their other team opponent. And Kentucky wasn't one of them. We had people picking Clemson last week. Just to put that in there. Beard, go ahead.
Here's what you've been around way longer than me, and I can't believe that I'm having to point this out to you, Hank. You're expecting people to vote with logic and not just look at numbers. No one. There's a third of the league is going to look at it and be like, you know what, Tank's right. That's Clemson. You should beat them because their defense is not very good right now. But the other 66% of the voters are going to look at it and be like, 6 touchdowns. 580 yards, 1 interception. What? That guy's the offensive player of the week. So I mean, it's going to be hard to take it away from him. Don't get me wrong. I mean, I don't care who your defense is. You know, you throw for 6 touchdowns. It's still pretty good. So
I didn't vote for Cunnington.
So, to be clear, I'm not asking who you specifically voted for, but I am asking who you think is going to win. Do you think Cunnington's going to win, or?
I think Cunnington is going to win. I feel like, again, there's an argument for Dave Axis just because, I mean, it's the old elite archetype, 9 for 223 and 2 touchdowns, massive in the win over LSU. But Timoteo Del Este, 440 yards all-purpose, 2 passing touchdowns, 2 rushing touchdowns in a game that I don't think anybody outside of Norman, Oklahoma saw Oklahoma winning.
Well, the thing he will have going for him is
it was an insane game. I think they pulled off one of the biggest upsets this week, so I can see that being another reason why he gets a better nod than a lot of the other guys too.
But how many offensive players of the week did Rice and Price win last year?
Very true.
No, again, you got to argue against the fact that people are going to look at stats and they're going to be like, "Ooh, 500 yards, 6 touchdowns, passing." Ooh.
But people are also going to see Oklahoma as the brand new program coming back after a few seasons.
You're using logic again. Stop using logic.
Shame on me for using logic. But that Oregon team won 6 games last year. They went to the playoffs, and all of a sudden, you lose in week 1 to a brand new team that doesn't even have a full roster.
But you're still using logic.
Shame on me.
So
Shame on you.
I'm only going to interject here a little bit. I'm only going to interject here a little bit because I called that Oregon-Oklahoma game, and both Timoteo del Este and Isaiah Love Jr. were absolutely phenomenal. Phenomenal. Uh, I actually, you know what? I'll even include a clip right here. We're going to play the clip right now of Himoteo's. I specifically clipped it off YouTube because holy crap, was that a great run he had. So I will happily, the former number 1 overall recruit who I picked to lose this week, I'll happily throw the clip there.
2nd and 6. And this is going to be a quarterback keeper. The number 1 recruit in the country to the 40, to the 30, to the 20. This second offensive play for Oklahoma since returning to the CFSL. It's going to be a touchdown.
Fantastic.
And now we've just seen the clip, and I'm sure I'll have to find that later. But he was awesome, just absolutely awesome. I'll even note the time down real quick so I don't forget. But that's who my personal vote's probably gonna go. Yeah, actually, I'm just gonna do the poll right now as we're going through this. I'm giving it to Del Este just because personally I thought that was an incredible performance, and I think more people need to tune in to Thursday YouTube for that exact reason. Both Thursday YouTube games were absolutely phenomenal. But I do think Cunnington is going to win it. Just pure, like Beard said, pure voting trends.
The only thing I could think of is the amount of
lobbying
that happened in league chat earlier.
I mean,
might
a
be
lot of people I feel like felt like a lot of what we saw from league chat, a lot of people were kind of feeling the same way, like, oh well, you were playing Clemson, but at the same time, you do have to put into effect like, cool. It was cool to see somebody do that. I ain't gonna lie, it was very cool to see somebody put up like that many yards. Like you're not gonna, like I said, you're not gonna probably see another game like that this year. I would hope, I pray, but.
Who does Kentucky play next week?
Yeah. I don't think he's gonna. I don't think he is. But
USC. Oh yeah.
I just think that it'd be pretty cool. Okay.
Also, real quick, whose bright idea was it for the schedule maker to give Clemson week 1 home against frickin' Kentucky? I feel like Wetzel.
That was a crazy week 1. That was a crazy
league office on that one. That's. I don't know.
Yeah,
because Clemson
do you know
now
who their week 2 and week 3 are?
Yeah, I mean, yeah, they're going at A&M. They'll play UCade in week 2, but and I say this as someone who just lost to you, so I am well aware of the irony.
Yeah, but I mean,
but like Texas A&M is not Kentucky, guys.
Last year's record is not. You're not the same thing with
it's the same thing with Cade. Like they're not the same A&M, and we saw that they scored like. It's a very fun. It's like that's the funness of the league is that nobody's going to be the same. So we'll definitely see what Clemson might upset Cade next week. You never know.
I love Wetzel, but he does have a really tough week 1, week 2. And who does he play after you?
He plays Michigan State week 3.
He needs to file a complaint. It needs to be a complaint. That's a crazy first.
It's a bad break.
Yeah. Sorry. And so just going through that. Good luck, Clemson, on that one. So we'll go through on to the next. What do you want to call it? Yeah. Offensive Player of the Week. I mean, I think we got that pretty well tuned, and actually, yeah, Clemson. Maybe we'll see. I don't know. Were they on the list here? They are not. Okay. Defensive Player of the Week. So I put that in there for you guys. I have something to say here before we get started on this. Cornerback Jay Henry, Georgia. Defensive end Toad Danger from Georgia. Cornerback Oscar Kellogg, Penn State. Cornerback Roman Ware, Bama. Defensive end Traylon Cooper, Colorado, and safety Ladarius Bird, Colorado. Now, Frosty, I think both the administrators, like both Mike and Frosty, when they make this poll, that I like that they are adding this. Obviously, it's a new modern era sack record for Cooper for Colorado, 5 sacks. I don't know if they need to include that though. I'm a little 50-50 on them including that. I feel like it's up to the voter to figure that out, but I understand why they put it there. I wonder if there's is anyone here for like Toad Danger? Is there any arguments against Cooper, or do you think he's just gonna win, guys?
I actually don't think it's going to go to either one of those guys.
Who's your guy?
Ladarius Bird. How do you go past 11 tackles, 1 tackle for a loss, which a tackle for a loss as a safety is still pretty rare and good. 2 interceptions, a pass deflection, and a TD. I'm just saying. That's your vote. Stellar good game. That was who I voted for. But that's who I think wins it. It's just the touchdown and 2 turnovers.
So I did vote for Cooper. I think the 6 sacks or the 6 tackles, 6 TFLs, 5 sacks. I mean, the asterisk of the new modern era sack record. I mean, I feel like that's going to garner a lot of votes, and I'm a little pissed off because Texas A&M defensive end Rockwell had 6 tackles, 4 TFLs, and 3 sacks, and I thought he's a shoo-in for Defensive Player of the Week. And not 1, but 2 defensive ends had a better week than him. So the fact that the defensive ends are actually thriving this much this early, it may go to someone like Ladarius Bird because you see the other defensive ends succeeding, you don't see the other strong safeties.
The only thing I'll add in there is actually that's not the only snub on there. The one that I was very surprised about, and I'm happy you brought out snubs, Kade, because again this is coming from me calling the game yesterday. I'll admit, middle linebacker Tay Allison, 11 tackles, 3 TFLs, 1 sack, had a fumble recovery for 40 yards all the way upfield. And that's, okay, you can take him off. He's on Tennessee. It's not the same. I'll remind you guys, he was a 3-star recruit. And that's why I think he got taken off. Because oh my goodness, that was crazy. And he almost had a few interceptions. I think if he catches one of those interceptions, he's on here. But I will shout him out. My vote, I think I am going to go... I'm not sure. I might wait until later because I'm still debating between Cooper and Bird here while we're recording this. But very, very good game. Obviously, for Colorado, they got a few guys.
I think that's where some people might look
kind
at
of the
it.
only other thing.
They might just be like, "Oh, well, he lost." Though. Like he had a crazy game, but he did lose. But I'm just a Miami hater. I'm just a Miami hater. So Roman Ware got my choice. Just hate Miami. That's just what it is.
That's great. For me, here's the thing. I don't really care if you win or lose a game. I think CFSL game is so much more, especially when you're not a coach and you're just a player here. It's so much more than if you win or lose. I do look at the fact that Colorado almost let up 60, and I do have a hard time voting for that, though. A defensive player on that. That's when you allow 59 points. I understand it's a sack record. We'll see. I'm gonna come back on that one because I'm not sure who I'm gonna vote for right now on that.
Another thing people don't talk about or consider is how many. I can't remember. Do sacks go into the tackle slot too?
Yes. Yeah.
So, your tackle number's inflated, and then you're throwing up 2 of those are tackle for a loss, and 1 of those are tackles for sacks. I'm looking at Hurd because I think Hurd kind of got left out too.
Yeah, that's another good one. I put him on the article.
2 fumble recoveries and a touchdown. But I get it. There's a bunch of stuff on there, and it is hard. Like we talk about snubs, and it's not like we're trying to say these guys didn't do a great job picking people, because it is tough when you have to start nitpicking in certain things. I gotta look at this. I gotta take that. I gotta take this, and inevitably somebody who could be deserving is gonna get left out. So, but to me, I think if you just look at numbers, the flashy numbers are in the touchdown, 2 interceptions, 11 tackles.
But I think
we'll see. Yeah.
The modern era sack asterisk is going to be tough to overcome, though.
I'm really not happy they included that. God damn it.
Go with it because they're going to be like, oh, wait, he set a record this week. But you have to look at the all around. Just look at what happened in that game. We can have the conversation of them being, he had 5 sacks, but you lost. It's always going to be even with the other, I forgot who they played, but with the other team that they played, well, they're always going to hold, you got 5 sacks in us, but we beat you. So I hope
I mean, and it's all about what have you done for me lately. And that's such a contradictory statement too, because people have conversations and it's about what's really fresh. like I know the fact, like there was a conversation on this podcast about who might be the impact player this year in the league, who might be the guy that leads their team to the natty that, you know, was really good last year and is going to be really good again. And I was never talked about. Not even once. Didn't get name dropped once. 50 touchdowns passing, 6,000 passing yards. Broke not modern day records, total records. But I lost the natty. So my name didn't come up. It's just, what have you done for me lately? It's not what have you done total.
I think I would like to interject. I'm pretty sure Ware was on that podcast as well. That might be why.
Okay. I still got overlooked being the current record holder for all of the CFSL, not just current, not just mine.
I'm very surprised you're not
all of it in passing yards.
The cover athlete, and it's K. I'm very shocked behind that. That you didn't get the.
I actually think I was the first pick, and Kade was the second. But all those awards and accolades were so heavy that my banner fell off of the screen, and Kade was still there.
Oh boy. All right, so we'll move on a little bit here. All-purpose player of the week. I'm going to be very short on this. I would like to shout out Mike or Frosty. I think it's Frosty that puts it together, so it's not fair to shout out Mike. But 1 reception, 1 yard, 1 touchdown, 7 tackles, a TFL interception, 2 deflections, and a kick return. He did everything there, and I think he might win because of that. But man, like. I don't know what the heck on that one.
That one's such a hard one because you start looking at all-purpose. Oh, Tank, I'm echoing bad.
Yeah, 1 sec. I can mute him real quick before he fixes that. Go ahead.
Okay. It's really hard. And here's the thing. Dave Axis has to be somewhere out there because he's their returner at Florida State unless they changed him.
I think like 100 yards returning, something like that. So, if he didn't,
so
I think
he
it
could
would
very easily be on this
might have
list.
still got it, but he's not our punt returner anymore. He's just our kick returner. So I get the nod, but I mean, like,
I think
he was nominated. I looked at the list and I was just like, oh well, maybe Dave will be nominated for both, and then he just didn't get nominated for both, and I was just like, oh well.
I think a lot of the because I don't think we saw it a lot last year. I think a lot of it goes to they don't like to put the same people on there multiple times.
That's part of it, I think.
Sierra has a stat everywhere.
It's hilarious. I
everywhere. I got a reception. I got 7 tackles. I have a tackle for a loss, a pick, 2 deflections, a kick return. All he's missing really is a rush and a punt return, and a pass, and he did it all.
Yeah. Chili Sierra to be a quarterback. That'd be great. I think Mike actually might have a heart attack if he ever was a quarterback in this league. I think he's done it once, but I don't think he's ever doing it again.
Yeah, quarterback is the most heartbreaking and uplifting position you'll ever play.
All of the
says the guy that set a modern. Actually, no. What did he say? Not a modern day, but actually a record.
All the time.
Record at all time.
Talking to the number 24th best quarterback in the CFL right now. Okay.
I wasn't even. The funny part was. I was like the 4th best quarterback according to Cole.
I could have sworn, Cole. I feel like there's a quarterback worse than you. I don't think it.
What? I am right now.
Yeah, his name is Moses King.
All right. Well. Shit.
He just so happens to be your AD.
Oh yeah. All right. This is how we go off the rails.
Do you see the correlation now?
Of me and my AD? You talking about my AD?
Yeah, your AD's got probably the worst quarterback, and he statistically is not the worst. But the fact that he retired his quarterback early. So,
Beard, I really hate to break it to you, but Moses King is not who Drake's quarterback was.
Who am I talking about?
Antonio McDaniel.
Oh, that's right.
You were just mentioning like one of the best quarterbacks in CFSL history.
Why is he? Why
the Kentucky AD?
Moses King?
The old Kentucky AD.
I forgot Drake.
Sorry, Moses. I'm talking about Drake's
quarterback. He had a quarterback when I joined.
All right.
It was, I don't think he only had.
Yeah, because it was
Exactly.
it was
he only
1
had
year, and he
20 when I
retired it
joined.
early when he played for me.
Why
Oh,
would you make
man.
a quarterback
Cole.
to retire at a year after?
That was a lot of money
Yes.
wasted. That's
Drake does.
golly.
But Cole, you who was the UNC quarterback that set all those
Aiden
broke
Martinez.
the
remember
interception record
Martinez.
2 weeks in a row?
Yeah, Aiden Martinez. Yeah. So
You're not
one
that
last
bad.
thing. No, I'm not. I just can't throw. That's the problem. What is your game of the week? So again, I'm not even going to ask you guys on this one because there's two of us in here who have personal interests in this. Auburn versus Michigan, Florida State versus LSU, Oklahoma beats Oregon. Again, I'm going to stay on this Tennessee heater. I think they should have been on just because of the history of it, but I understand why it's not. I don't know. I mean, all right, so I already know Tank and Beard. Do you want to just quickly say
I'll
why you
let
think
Beard
yours
go
is game of the
first.
week, and then Cade will go to the actual non-biased answer?
I actually don't think ours is the game of the week.
Who you put in then?
I think it has to be Oregon, Oklahoma, because Oregon is that team we all want to see. We all like Oregon's like the Yankees. You either want them to lose or you want them to win. Nobody's in between. Like, that just doesn't care. And then Oklahoma coming back. It was the reuniting of DT Hall and Carr. So like there was so much like built up just tension in that game that either they're going to be back and we're going to be like, crap, they're back, or they're going to be like so bad, like, oh look, you waited all this time to play together again and y'all are awful. But then it came out and it was actually a good game. Like, it was back and forth. At one point in time, I was watching it like, oh man, what have I walked into? So that's me. It's for me.
My only hesitation with that game is that Oklahoma led the entire game. It wasn't like a back and forth game. But it was a great
have
game.
us as
Tank,
the game of the
your
week,
game real quick.
but only because I think, like you said, the build up between that game. For me, I know for sure, like me trolling Babs at 2:00 in the morning, all night, and just literally, like I had a lot of anticipation for that game, and then it was. The onside kick at the end made the game a lot closer, but like you said about the Oklahoma game, we led for the most part in that game. They came out and they 21 us very fast, and I was very shocked. I didn't think they were going to come out that quick. They came out very fast. They struck us fast, but we settled in and we won. And it was a doozy of a game. If you really go and watch it, it was literally I was on the edge of my seat for the most of it. For really that last 4 minutes, I was sweating bullets. It was so nerve wracking.
Anyway, yeah, no,
Monday.
I
Monday
didn't
night.
see the game live. That one I think was on Monday, or was it Tuesday? Yeah. So I actually watched that game after the fact. I agree it was very fun to watch, I think. Maybe not fun if you're Tank and you're on the game, but
Yeah. I was about to say ours. I think if you ask anybody on my staff or
neither-
anybody on
I-
Ike's
I
staff,
think
neither one
I
of us
know
had a
me and
great
Tom
game.
were I know we got to when it was finally over and we were able to just be like, whew. We were just like, God, that game was close. Like, it was that was one that we didn't know it was gonna be that close, but it came out very, very close.
for Cade, any comments on that? I'll give you a chance here too.
I think I chose LSU, Florida State, for the simple fact of I got put on the content pick'em team this year, and I thought I was being quote unquote edgy, and I took LSU against Florida State in the content pick'em. And when I turned that game on, LSU was up by 3 touchdowns, and I was the only one that picked them.
Yeah,
So you just thought there wasn't going to be bias in this.
Mm-hmm.
It's nothing. I love Grin, and I love Tank, and I love Florida State. I thought we had a good game last year. Score may not show that, but I thought LSU. I thought they gave them a run for their money, and Florida State being as high as 3. I thought LSU came out and did really well, and it took the cake for me. I think Oregon and Oklahoma, again, great game, and like you said, Oregon's either the Yankees, you love them or you hate them, and like the Yankees in recent years, they got all this talent and they haven't performed.
Oh boy. Well, Trips,
I
who's a
don't know.
frequent guest of the podcast, gonna have some fun with that one.
I love Trips. I love
When-
Trips. I'm just poking a little fun.
Do y'all play? Do y'all play Oregon?
Yeah. Do you play?
No,
you
we
play
do not.
Oregon this
No,
year? Again? Weird.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I don't. I mean, I'm sure I will in the playoffs round one.
Are you the only way you play them round one is if you pick them?
Yeah. Well, I mean, Auburn has to be top 2 in their conference first, but yes, assuming that they do, which they are favored to do.
Really? I mean, I know Ware picked us to lose to him week 8 and give him.
I
The SEC
did read
championship
that. I
game
read that kind of
unbiasedly and all.
funny. I was like, weird.
But
I mean,
Yeah.
I was like,
I'm just
where
pointing it
you
out.
can't say that Alabama's going to win and you're the AD of Alabama. That just kind of. Yeah, like the way you got beat.
When you
that
got
bad
absolutely
last year. And
manhandled
then
last
he
season.
doesn't claim
yeah,
it,
okay.
though. He does not claim it. Let's get it right. He doesn't claim that. He doesn't claim he didn't do anything.
I mean, he did.
So that
He
is
did.
not
He
his.
did. He did pick me. He did pick me to lose to Michigan too. So, but then in the what was really funny, he picked me to lose in his article about how I was going to lose the SEC. But then when the content team came out, he picked me to win.
I definitely did not do something similar. Nope, absolutely not. So I before we move on, I do want to actually bring that up. So the week 1 content team pick'em, just because we brought it up. This season, it's Ware, Grin, Kade Padgett, the new guy, Moreland, Jeff Melanishin, and myself. I felt really good Monday and Tuesday because I put, outside of Virginia Tech who lost, I had Penn State, I had Auburn, I had Florida State, and then I lost on the Miami one, but I won with North Carolina. I was the only guy to choose Miami or North Carolina, which was, it evened out, but I felt very good about choosing North Carolina. Unfortunately, Thursday I think I'm going to be in last place again this year because I kind of went off the rails on Thursday. But a good point here. We're talking about Oregon, Oklahoma. Every content team person picked Oregon. We're talking about Texas, North Carolina. Again, I was the only guy that picked North Carolina to win that game. So a few big upsets in week 1, and I think we'll finish with the player and games of the week right here. But great
Vote
games
for
all
FSU
around.
versus LSU.
Any final comments from you guys?
Get
No,
Oh, okay.
no shame. No shameless plug for Auburn. We're just good.
Run it back.
So
Run it back.
that's all I got. As we move on here to the big stories of this week, and this is the last time I'm going to say it this podcast, but I've been saying it basically since it happened yesterday. I threw the clip in there. Tennessee. I mean, I can check it again here. I think the last time they were over 500, I think it was season 15. Like, I think I have to check that, but I know for a fact because I said this on the broadcast. The last time they finished a season over 500, the last time they started the season 1-0, season 11, before I even started broadcasting for the league. So for them to completely dominate Notre Dame, not only on offense, where obviously Notre Dame is a little bit undermanned, they only have 2 scholarship wide receivers, but on defense, to keep them to 23 points, which I wrote an article for this. Notre Dame has not scored that few points since season 18 against Kentucky. I mean, I got to bring it up with you guys. Talk about Tennessee for a little bit here and the great game they had. Who wants to go first?
I'll go first. So Tennessee, like you said, that this is the first time that they won their opener since season 11. I wasn't even in the league in season 11. My first season was season 15. So, I mean, it's great because I love Tennessee and I loved watching them last year and calling some of their games. And we were even though we're supposed to be unbiased in the booth, I always caught myself kind of rooting for them, kind of giving a little extra juice to certain players on the call. And you wanted them to break the streak, and then it finally happened. And now it's okay. Well, what's Tiny going to do now? Is Tennessee going to stay around that 1-win mark? Are they going to improve? Are they going to actually make a push for the SEC? Or can they win 2 or 3 games? And I mean, yes, you started with Notre Dame, 2 scholarship wide receivers. They don't have a full roster as of yet, but it's a good win for them, and it's a great way for them to start season 21 and it gives
Yeah,
hope
I'll
for
go.
the Volunteers.
Being that I got to call their first win last year, like in forever. So like being that I was the one to be able to be on that call, it felt kind of special. Like you felt like something was gonna turn the corner when they won that game. And Tiny made sure of it this offseason that he was not going to try to be the laughing stock of the league anymore. And first game he shows like I don't want to be a laughing stock anymore, and I want to go out and dominate folks. And like Cade said, it's not that Notre Dame doesn't have a full roster, so but it was still a great, great, great win for them, and just to dominate like they did, it was amazing. Gives the team confidence, really.
And if, I was gonna say, Beard, I'll give this to you because you haven't gone yet with this. Tennessee, obviously, they win last week against Notre Dame. Their next two games are at Michigan State, which at this point,
Win.
I think Tennessee's gonna be favored at this point in that game. And then, at least in the sports book, I'm not saying I don't think we can win that game, but like after what our offensive showing was versus Tennessee's offensive showing, and I know that playbook that they're running, I think Tennessee's gonna be favored in the sports book on that one. And then they play Colorado the week after. Beard, there's a chance Tennessee's 3-0 entering SEC play.
So here's what I think. Next week is going to be tough, real tough, just sheerly based on roster comparison. So I think he'll struggle next week. However, I think he matches up well with Colorado. I love Tiny because Tiny's the guy that will be your friend today and hate you tomorrow, but be your friend again on Sunday. So it's fun to kind of pick at him and do stuff. But all I got to say, man, for Tennessee is just give me a little bit of. Oh, it won't play through this. Dang, I played Rocky Top and it won't hear it. I played Rocky Top for you, Tiny. I played Rocky Top.
Oh man, yeah. Well, don't worry. His rule is still in effect for the Chaos Quiz in a little bit here. So
yeah, but unfortunately, I can't play that
game. We'll get to that. I mean, technically, he doesn't. I mean, Auburn might not be happy with him, or maybe they. Actually, I think his locker room will be okay with what the rules are.
Yeah, I feel like the locker room would be 100% content if he doesn't play.
So
I would be raised up on the shoulders and carried out a champion.
Okay, so before we get to that, because we're going to get to that in a few minutes here, I do want to actually, Tank, I want to ask you this, because we were going to originally have Tom for this segment, and Tom had a work thing come up. We're going to get him on next week when he maybe breaks the record here. Florida State, they're going to play at home against Florida. I would have to imagine they will be heavily favored. Like, I love Florida, and we had the AD of Florida on, I think it was, let me check. It was 3 weeks ago, Adam Smith, Smitty. But Florida State, assuming that they do win this week, and they will be favored, and I will be picking them in the content team stuff as well. Tank, your AD will become the winningest AD in the history of the CFSL.
I mean, a lot of the guys.
So tell me a little bit about
a lot
what
of
that means
even
for
the newer guys we took last week. A lot of guys didn't know last week would have tied it, and so when we found that out, we definitely were. It's a I don't know how to put it. Like it's a really weird thing for a lot of guys because a lot of guys are newer. Like we have newer guys, so like the newer guys don't really get the significance behind it. But the guys like Fozzie and guys like that, like Axes, this is a really big thing for us. This is a really big week for us. Like it for me, being that I had to deal with you for 2 years. It was kind of. It was a fun experience. It was a fun ride, Cole.
Excuse me?
Never not saying it wasn't a fun ride. But coming here and like being at FSU and like actually seeing like we're going to win. I'm gonna tell you now we're going to win this week. So to have that record and maybe win a championship this year would just put like the icing on the cake for Grant. Really and true. Like this would be a perfect year for him to do it.
So for everybody who doesn't know, Cole, you want to break down exactly what y'all are talking about? Because I don't think a lot of people know
No, what?
what the record is that he's going for. I know you said winning as coach, but for depending on who you are,
he has 73 wins as an AD, and if he wins against Florida this week, he'll have 74, which will be the most of any AD in CFL.
I'm glad I'm a part of it. Though. I will say I'm happy to be a part of it. That a lot of guys are very happy to be a part of it. The team is very happy to be a part of it. All the guys are, especially like you got guys like Wookie and guys that we have a lot of guys that are very, especially our coaching staff, are guys that have been in this league for a very long time that have seen Grin start from being the first year AD to now. So it's very cool for those guys to definitely watch his growth and everything.
So just to go back to what Beard said, he will be passing Pack, who's at 73 right now. He's tied with him now with this win this week. He's going to pass, assuming he wins against Florida. He would pass Pack, and he would have 74. And I played for him I think it was his first season 7. So I'm very proud of him, obviously too. But we'll get him on next week for that. I just wanted to touch on it. Anything else on you two for Kade and Beard on it?
No, I mean technically I come from the Grin coaching tree because I started at Michigan under Ike, and Ike started at Florida State under Grin. And last year was my first year as an AD, and I took the time to reach out to him and just, kind of pick his brain about simming and about certain things that he does and some certain things that work for him and what don't work for him. And he was always willing to help. And I actually live not too far from where he's at in real life. So I know that if in a pinch he's there. He's been great for me personally. He's been great for me for the league. And I can guarantee you I'll be tuning in when they play next week.
Thursday 8:30.
Yeah, should
be
be
play Thursday at 8:30. Thursday at 6:30.
Hey, quick math
on Twitch. Hey,
I was gonna say, Tank, you're the recruiting coordinator. You don't know when you play.
Hey, I play Thursday at 6:30 too.
Hey, I'm only 44 wins behind him.
Just a few seasons away.
if that's the case, I'm only 70 behind him.
Yeah. Look, if I can go 11-1 4 seasons in a row, I'll catch up.
That'd be an insane run. I will say, Beard, that would be an insane.
So, not like it's a ginormous
ass. You don't have to worry about recruiting at all. You would not have to worry about recruiting at all.
I mean, recruiting is it's getting tougher and tougher because the quality is getting better. But I think going to talk about Grin for real, I was just being funny. Grin's such a staple in the league that I think everybody wants to get him. He's kind of like he's kind of like the Superman of our comic books. Like everybody loves him because he's always there for everybody. He's not like the edgy guy. So. I think everybody's rooting for him to do good. I think even deep down, Smitty's probably actually I'm okay if I lose this one.
No, I think it's quite the opposite.
No,
I think Smitty would not like to lose to Florida State in a rivalry game and have that be the one that he gets 74.
Be the one that gets the record.
We've talked
Absolutely
all
not.
season. He does not want to lose this one.
No.
Not because I'm not saying he wants to lose. He's not going in with the game plan to lose. But if he loses, there will be some solace in the fact that this was a big moment for Grin. And it was not that it was Florida State, just Grin.
He will be happy.
So Smitty, yeah.
I don't know if he's gonna be happy he did it versus him, but
or he could be like me. I want to send Ware out of this league in retirement and never let him beat Auburn ever again.
So Smitty, oh my God,
I don't care if it's for a record or not.
Smitty, yeah, no, I know Smitty and I know how he operates. I can tell you with a good authority that he does not want this win to come on this rivalry game. Yeah, no. But that's all we got for now. I think we're gonna have Tom. I'm gonna try my best to get him on next week to talk about it and potentially talk about the record. So, all the best of luck to him and Florida State, and should be a great one on Thursday, 6:30 Central Twitch. I'll be on probably. I'll probably be able to view it because I got the Michigan State game afterwards. So, should be a good one. All right, I'm going to move on here real quick. We are now at the week 2 part for, just week 2 in general. Let's see here. I don't know how to do this because last week we just straight up picked, and I don't know. I guess we have enough time to do that. I'll say let's just try to keep it short. Let's not try to do 3-minute conversations for each game. But Texas, Penn State, LSU, Michigan. I will once again write down the picks here, just because it was a very popular segment last week. We'll do it again. You guys can pick whoever you want. I will remind you that we had everyone pick Texas last week on the podcast, and that did not go well. So just beware.
Because you didn't have me on here.
All right then. Texas, Penn State, LSU, Michigan. We'll start with you, Kade. Then, who do you think wins each game?
Horns down, Penn State, and go Big Blue. I got to give Ike some credit. Penn State and Michigan.
All right, Penn State and Michigan each get one. All right.
I'm gonna take
What do you
LSU
think, Tate?
and Penn State.
All right, Penn State 2. Michigan, LSU. And I always go last for these. Beard, up to you. What do you think?
After watching what happened to Texas, I know that they're not super happy about it. But I know that Florida's better, but Penn State kind of struggled out the gate. They're brothers, so there's a little bit difference going on there. But it's going to be, just based off what I've seen, I think UNC is probably a better team, and I think Ryan kind of second-guessed himself and didn't go with his gut. So give me Texas in that game, and then Ike is pissed. So sorry, Babs. Michigan's coming for you to make up for what I did.
All right. So that's Penn State getting 2 of the 3 guest votes. Michigan getting 2 of the 3 guest votes. I'm going to go with Texas, which will make this a 2-2 tie.
Ew.
And the reason I'm saying it is not just because I don't like Kade. I think Texas is a little better than what they showed versus North Carolina. I think Penn State is a team that you can beat if you game plan for it right, and Ryan has proved he's a pretty good game planner. I think it's going to be a close game, though. I think it's going to be one of the games of the week, potentially, Texas-Penn State. That's why they put it at Monday, 6:30 Central on the primetime slot. Michigan, LSU, I really want to pick LSU here because they showed a lot of heart in that loss to Florida State. I kind of agree with Beard, though. I think Aaron Ike is one to take a loss and learn his lesson and come back stronger, and LSU is not as strong a team as Florida State.
We know they're not a strong team like us. We know.
Who did Michigan play again? It was Auburn. Yeah, no, they're not. Excuse me. They
Yeah, they're not very good. They just beat teams by 50 or whatever.
So anyway, that's my picks. Tie. So that gives us a tie for Texas, Penn State, Michigan 3-1 over LSU. Tuesday. I mean, we know how one of our voters is going to vote on this, but Auburn, North Carolina, and then USC, Kentucky. I think Auburn is going to be the favorite, but Beard, I'll let you go first here. What do you think about this one?
Give it to me more time. Who's playing first again?
Auburn, UNC, idiot.
I'm totally kidding. I believe that we're going to game plan well for that game. We have in the past historically played well against teams that have dual threat quarterbacks, even when I was at Texas. So obviously I'm going to pick us. The second game, though, is a little bit more controversial, I think. I actually think I'm going to take Kentucky in this game because I don't think they struggled. USC struggled with us, needed me to throw 2 pick-sixes in the Natty to beat us. They didn't score a single offensive touchdown against us. Or maybe they scored 1, but the rest of it was all stupid stuff I did on defense, or I did for them on defense. But I think Kentucky's locked and loaded. They're tired of being the secondary, so give me and Kentucky. SEC.
Yeah, SEC spirit there.
Well, I'll
Tank,
take
I'll let you go
my.
next here.
I
Who you
can't
got?
even say my graduate transfer, but I'll take my alma mater. I'll take my alma mater in Auburn,
Traitor.
and I'm gonna take. See that USC game is. I'm gonna take USC only because of Venom, and I hope he listens to this, and I really want him to know I'm taking him because of him. I just want him to know that he's not gonna. He's probably not gonna.
Well, I guess you'll have to ask him later. But that's one way to do it. No, he usually listens. I mean, I don't know if he's going to listen to the whole podcast, and we're already 48 minutes in or 49 minutes.
He'll listen long enough to come tell me how I'm wrong.
That's fair, but I think he's going to do that whether or not he listens to the podcast. So, yeah, all right, Kade, your turn.
I feel like the Auburn North Carolina game is going to be closer than some people think, but War Eagle, I think Auburn's going to take it, and it's not as controversial as you think, Beard. I think Kentucky wins.
Ooh,
And
now
I
that's
think Kentucky
different.
wins
Ooh, I
handily.
like that one.
Ooh.
It's no disrespect to USC. I think they're a great team, but call me crazy. Kentucky at home, I think it's easily a 10-point game.
And that's getting
All
written down
right.
in the sideline. Kentucky by 10.
So oh boy. My turn real quick. And the only thing I'll say, because I think you guys hit the nail on the head for both of these matchups, I am going also Auburn because obvious reasons, but also because I think Auburn, until proven otherwise, is a regular season juggernaut under Beard. Like,
Exactly.
have yet to lose a regular season game under Beard. Kentucky, USC, I'm actually going to pick USC here. I think that team is often discounted. Like, I don't think USC is like I don't think Kentucky's a bigger challenge now than Auburn was. I think Auburn was a bigger challenge in the national championship last year, and they won. I think depending on what the weather is in Kentucky, I think what game plans they use, I'm gonna go. You know what, Kentucky, I think they're very good, but I think like we talked about, Clemson was a very underhanded opponent for week 1 for Kentucky. I'm gonna go make it a tie. So Auburn is 4-0, and I will take USC to make it a tie here for the Tuesday night games, meaning that Auburn is our first 4-0 of the week. No surprise of 2 former Auburn guys, or current Auburn guy and 2 former Auburn guys here. So maybe sorry about that, UNC. I promise that's not personal. Wednesday's game, again, we'll keep it really quick here, but West Virginia at Virginia Tech, Ohio State at Georgia, Oregon at Alabama, Oklahoma at Notre Dame. Who have I not called on first? Cade, I think it's you.
Yeah, I'll go.
No, I went first. Call on Tank.
We'll go.
Yeah, Tank. All right, you want to go?
The Battle of Virginia. We'll go West Virginia because of Gunnar Rice. Georgia, I'm a Georgia fan. I love you, assured, but I'm going to take Georgia. Alabama and Oklahoma.
All right. I think, yeah, the Oklahoma game might be a few survivor picks on that one. Beard, go ahead.
I am also going to take Gunnar Rice because he's just a playmaker. That's what you get for being a GT. Well, most GTs anyway.
Yeah, no, that's fair. That's fair.
Georgia's gonna beat Ohio State at home. That's just that. I think those teams are closer on paper than you think they are, but at the home field advantage is going to get that one. Oregon at Alabama. It really pains me to say this, but I'm going to have to go with. No, it doesn't. Go Ducks.
There we go. I knew it was going to come.
And give me Oklahoma at Notre Dame. They're reeling. One of two things is going to happen. Either that locker room is going to rebound real big, and we're going to see Oklahoma come out and get the shock that they gave last week, or it's going to plunge further down. I hope it doesn't, because, these games are so close, like they could flip a coin and you could decide who wins with some of them.
So just clarifying, you're choosing Oklahoma for that?
I am choosing Oklahoma.
Okay. So, yeah, so far I'm going to Cade here. West Virginia gets chosen twice. Georgia chosen twice. Oregon, Alabama, I think, will be the game of Wednesday, like the best game that day. And then Oklahoma, Notre Dame. Cade, who do you got?
Man, I love Moochie, and I'd love to take Virginia Tech here, but I'm going to take West Virginia. Gunnar Rice. Is Gunnar Rice. He torched us last year.
Did not expect that. Go ahead.
I love West Virginia, and I love Virginia Tech, but I'm going to go with West Virginia. I'm going to take Georgia. I think it's closer than most people think. Oregon, Alabama, I don't give a dang about nothing but the Tide. Roll Tide on that one. And then Oklahoma at Notre Dame.
So just to clarify, you're choosing Oklahoma there, Cade?
Yeah,
as,
Oklahoma over Notre
where
Dame.
dies inside? All right.
Yes.
So I'm not surprised Oklahoma got all 3 votes. I'm very surprised no one took Virginia Tech
I
or
like
Ohio
Ohio
State.
State.
That's
I just
really,
think
like,
Georgia, what we saw from Georgia,
I guess I see it for
last
West Virginia
week,
just because.
and I know we played Ohio State last year, and I've seen them. You know it's a different team, but Tyree is their quarterback is nuts, but he just doesn't. I don't know what it is. The logic, he throws a lot of picks, so I think he had 2 picks this week. So like he's just very just throw the ball. If he sees somebody's open, he's gonna throw it. So
I don't understand why you're shocked nobody took Ohio State. I question the intelligence of any AD at Ohio State that picks Michigan to win a game.
All right, I see how it is. I guess it's my turn here, and I'm gonna go with. Man, I'm gonna go with Virginia Tech here, not because I think they're actually gonna win, but because I think they don't deserve to be picked against 4-0. I think
Exactly.
Virginia Tech's a much better team.
You're not gonna win. Here's your pity vote.
No. I think VT has some talent here. I think West Virginia, they played well against USC, but I think Virginia Tech can pull out here a win, and I'm going to go with the expansion franchise. It bit me in the ass last week, Virginia Tech. Don't disappoint me this week. I'm going VT all the way. And I'm going to pick Ohio State, too.
I do love Moochie.
Yeah, great guy. I'm picking Ohio State here. I think they played a lot better. I understand. I believe it was Colorado they played. Yeah, they did. 60 points against Colorado. They got some stuff to clean up, but I think it's going to be a great game, and I think Ohio State's going to win. Also gives me the benefit of not having to pick against Georgia, or not having to pick Georgia, excuse me. Man, I'm really tempted to join Beard here with Oregon. Here's what I'll say on it. I think Oregon has the rushing talent, and I don't know if Alabama has the front 7 to stop it. I think Oregon had a great game against Oklahoma, and I think Alabama here, they're going to have a tough game. I think it's going to be the game of the day. And I really would like to pick Alabama, and I'm going to pick Alabama because, look, man, I hate Beard. Or not Beard. I do hate Beard, but I hate Ware more than I can imagine. And he doesn't deserve to get picked. But I'm going to go Alabama here. I picked Auburn. I think the Crimson Tide, I'm going to have one majority vote with me anyway. I think they pull out the win.
You're failing to remember Oregon wins one game they're not supposed to during the regular season every year.
I agree with you, but I don't think it's Alabama. I think it's Penn State. I don't think it's Alabama.
Look at their schedule. Who is it?
I think it's USC. I think it's USC.
Penn State, no. Penn State's coming back for that tail this year after last year.
And then I will give Oklahoma the 4th vote. Unfortunately, I think Notre Dame's a little bit too undermanned, and holy fuck, Oklahoma's quarterback is a menace. So Oklahoma becomes the second 4-0 of the week on that one. Virginia Tech barely escapes. Ohio State barely escapes. You're welcome, both of you guys. Thursday's game, we'll keep this quick, but what do you guys think here? Yeah, you know what? Actually, Tank, will let you go first again because it is your team starting off. Florida State, Clemson, Texas A&M, Miami, Colorado, and then Tennessee.
Of course, we're going to take
Michigan
Florida
State. Go ahead.
Tank,
go ahead.
A&M, not just because Cade's here, but I am going to take A&M. I will shout out Clemson though because they are tributing one of their game. They are tributing this game, so I will shout out Clemson. I don't like Miami, so I'm taking Colorado, and I'm going to take Tennessee. Texas A&M.
So just to clarify, Florida State, and then you said Texas A&M or Clemson?
Colorado because I don't like Miami, and then Michigan, Tennessee.
TAMU.
I'm sorry.
Okay. So you're gonna choose everyone except me in this podcast. I see how it is. I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm number 24 in the rankings right now for quarterbacks, but like, I see how it is. Okay. All right. Cade, you're up.
We're gonna go with Florida State. Green gets the record. Obviously, we're gonna go with Texas A&M. I'm gonna go with Miami over Colorado, and then I am gonna go with Sparty at home, Michigan State.
All right. So you get to come on next week, the podcast. But yeah, good. Here's the thing: Florida State might be 4-0 here. That's what we're going to. I think A&M could be a 4-0 here, depending on what Beard chooses.
Should be.
Colorado, Miami. I'm not surprised with Tank. I think it's gonna be a great game, and then Michigan State, Tennessee. Low key is gonna be a lot of fun. So Beard, what are you thinking?
You're pretty close. There's a really big part of me that wants to pick Florida, not because, again, like you said, I think on paper and everything they're outmanned, but after talking to y'all, I think he really doesn't want to lose this game and be the record that has to be like this is until somebody else comes along and wins 75 games, or it'll actually probably have to be more than that. But Florida State I think Florida State takes that game. I love Wetzel, but his defense is just not where he needs it to be right now. Texas A&M takes that game. Give me Miami over Colorado, and give me Michigan State. Love you, Tiny, but that's just what's going to happen.
If it wasn't for that quarterback, I'd be with you. I'm really questioning that quarterback in East Lansing right now.
Yeah, he's kind of buns.
Yeah.
I mean,
that kind of. He
feelings.
makes
First of
DJU
all-
look like
First
Tim
of all, that actually hurt. I had to laugh, but that hurt. That really hurt.
all I'm saying is,
you chose against me, Tank. I don't care. Go ahead, Beard.
all I'm saying is that poor QB. It's not his fault. It's his genetics. His genetics just aren't there.
We talked about. I've been losing his player in the CFSL history of all my players here, so it's fine. Whatever. I'm going Florida State. I think Florida just doesn't have the talent right now, but man, do I think Florida's going to give a fight here. A&M. I really hate to give Kade a 4-0 on his first appearance here on the podcast. It would be really funny for me to choose Clemson here, but I think I agree with Beard. I don't know if the talent on defense is there just yet for Clemson. So I'm going to give A&M the second 4-0 of Thursday. Oh man, I really want to choose Miami here. And I think I'm going to go with Colorado for two reasons. The first one is because it's funny, and the second reason is because I think Colorado's grown enough, and their running back and their quarterback's really, really good. I don't know if Miami has the defenses of season past. I'm going to give this a tie on Thursday, make it 2-2 Colorado-Miami. And then I got to go with my own team here. I think we definitely had a step back, but I know Drake, he's in the locker room right now, hyping the guys up. He's going to rebound next week against Tennessee. I think Tennessee puts up a much better fight than they would have in years past, but Michigan State 3-1. So again, the team here on podcast for week 2, they had a 2-2 tie for Texas Penn State. Michigan over LSU 3-1. Auburn 4-0. A tie, USC and Kentucky. West Virginia 3-1 over VT. Georgia 3-1 over Ohio State. Alabama 3-1 over Oregon. And yes, that does include a pick from me. You're welcome, Ware. Don't ever say anything about it ever again. Oklahoma 4-0. Florida State 4-0. A&M 4-0. 2-2 tie between Michigan and Miami and Colorado. And then Tennessee, Michigan State 3-1 towards Michigan State.
Yes, sir.
All right. So you guys ready for the chaos quiz?
I'm down.
All right. I'm going to type this all in. I got to pull this all up. So I've provided the rules in the chat. Does anyone have any questions?
I just have to say Tank Rocky Top, right? Or Tank? No, I have to say. Do I have to say the?
Yeah. So
it's Roll Tide.
Yeah. So I think we have one player here who might be abstaining from playing, which too bad.
You have to say your name and then Roll Tide, and then when you answer the question is good old Rocky Top, and then you answer the question.
Yeah, kind of like Jeopardy. So
I feel like my team would all leave if I actually played.
So 2 weeks ago, Ware won, and so yeah, everyone who says their name must follow it up with Roll Tide, i.e. Cole Roll Tide. And then the rule from the week before, which has not been changed, so it is still in effect. When you start your answer, it starts with good old Rocky Top, and then whatever the answer is.
See, so Where's playing the long game? He just knows that I won't play. Like I could have done this with my rule, but I didn't. We actually talked about it. You can ask Cole, but where's playing the long game? Because he knows the only way he can beat me is if I don't play.
Oh boy!
I mean, if you're scared, Where just say it. I mean, 0-3 can't beat me on the chaos.
Oh,
57.
Well, you had to have them on. You had to have both of them on week 8. You just have to.
Week 8's gonna be great.
Well, yeah, very true.
I'm an Auburn guy. Who says I have to have both of them?
That's right. That's right. Hey, winners are only allowed on this podcast week 8. So he's not allowed.
It's going to be absolutely toxic the week before, depending on which one of you two I get on, because I'm absolutely going to get the winner of the Iron Bowl on afterwards, and it's going to be if Ware does end up winning somehow, it's going to be just absolute chaos for that. For that.
Rumor has it
Week
Ware's
8.
already called and asked what number he needs to put on the check to win Week 8.
All right. Here we go. So we all ready. You guys know the stop-go rule. Obviously, you cannot say your name before I say go. I'm not going to go through the rules again if you guys know it. And for the longtime viewers who are watching this far into the podcast, you guys know the rules as well. If not, you'll catch on. All right. So, one more thing. So we're in the event Beard plays, we'll use Beard for Beard. Tank, you just use Tank. Kade, you just say your name, Kade, and then roll Tide. Sound good?
Yeah, so just to clarify, you read the question, do I have to say stop and then my name, or just my name once you're done?
No. I say go. You only say stop if, like, for example, you have an internet issue and you need me to repeat the question. You should only say stop if if you have a question about the question.
I'm here
but
now.
you cannot say your name until I say go, otherwise you are not allowed to answer the question.
Aye, Capitan.
All right, here we go. There's a few fun ones. Beard, if you're not going to play, give me a number between 1 and 7.
6. Oh, actually, give me 7 because that's the number of points Alabama scored.
All right. I see where we're going with this. I'll take it. So here's the question, everybody. To start us off, how many times did we see a defensive touchdown in Week 1 of CFSL action? Go.
The sad part is I already know the answer to this question.
Kade, roll Tide.
So it's yep. Go ahead.
I just want to make sure I got that right. Okay.
Yep.
Good old Rocky Top. I'm gonna say 3 times, 3 defensive touchdowns.
Incorrect.
Wrong. Yeah.
Good old Rocky Top. I'll say
Tank,
5.
you're up.
Oh wait.
No.
Oh yes.
Tank, you can't do it. All right, Beard. So here's how it's gonna work. Quite literally per the rules, I can't move on to the next question until you attempt it, and then they can't answer until you attempt it.
So what you're saying is I can hold up this game forever.
Well, I'm gonna veto your ability here if you're not gonna answer. I will. If you'd like to just abstain, just let me know.
Abstain.
All right,
boy.
All right. Tank and Kade, you may try again to answer.
Okay.
Remember, you got to say "Roll Tide," Tank, when you.
You said it, Cole. That's terrible.
It's my job.
Oh.
This is what happens when you.
It wasn't 3 or 4.
So it wasn't 3.
Kade, roll Tide.
Yeah.
Kade, go ahead.
I feel like because you didn't say that it was 5, good old Rocky Top, was it 5 touchdowns?
No.
Oh.
Tank, you're up.
Try to get sneaky with that one.
Tank, roll Tide. Oh, that's so disgusting. Oh my god. Ew.
Go ahead, Tank.
Was it good old Rocky Top 7? I'm looking on the website, Cole.
Oh my god, guys. It's I'm counting it again to make sure. Let me make sure I didn't miss. Nope, it's right there on the website. It's pretty easy to find. Beard, you have abstained from this question. I'll let Tank and Kade go again. You guys are close. I don't know how you missed it. It's right there on the website, but go ahead.
Oh, we're on the website. Oh my god.
I'm trying to find it.
It's under defensive players. I'm not going to say how you find it, but it's not. It's just not there. Like, you have to count how many players had a defensive touchdown last week.
Gotcha.
Oh
Kade,
man, it's
Tide.
so
Kade,
easy.
Kade, roll Tide.
I was
Kade,
so
go
easy
ahead.
to find.
Good old Rocky Top is at 6.
There you go. Oh my god.
Thank you.
I thought my answers were too easy. Holy shit.
All you had to do was
I
go
was
to
like,
defensive leaders,
see, I
defense,
didn't-
and sort by
I'm a
touchdown.
little
That.
slow.
Yeah,
Beard,
it
I'm
seems like
slow.
that was-
I had it.
Let's
I had it
confuse you all.
immediately. Congratulations, Ware. You have successfully made the best Chaos Quiz player not play.
All right, Beard. Give me a number that's not 7 here. Then 1 through 7. You want to do 6?
Oh man.
6 is very funny, but also
6. 6 for the reminiscence of Kick 6.
I like it. All right.
Oh my God.
Here we go. Here's the question. How many kick and punt return touchdowns were there combined throughout the CFSL in week 1? Go.
Cade, roll Tide.
Cade, go ahead.
Oh,
The answer. Good old Rocky Top.
Oh,
0.
He got. I'll give it to him. There you go, Cade. It's 0, and he gets it. Oh man,
he
Tiny
actually
laughing.
started his answer with this. The answer is.
You know what? I'll give it to him because I don't
I
feel
would
like
too.
sitting
That was
here
good.
for another
Good talk.
20 minutes. And it's within the spirit of the rule. I'll give it to him.
You don't
All
want to
right.
know the rule I'm going to make if I win.
Well,
'cause he
you're
did get
1
the
point
last
away.
one. Yeah.
With Beard out of the running and Tank not doing so hot. Yep, it's 2-0. Let's see.
Am I
here.
out of the running? Could I theoretically still win?
If you actually played
If you
the game,
came back
yeah.
and won, is that what you're trying
Would
to
that
say?
be more fun?
Hey, Beard, if it helps you out, I've already have an idea to get rid of the roll Tide thing. Okay.
All right, here we go.
Let's see. Question
I'm
5.
going to choose the question here, and this one's a little bit more fun because I wanted to ask this question last week. We didn't have time for it. Here's the question: how many teams has Cole Mantell played on as a person? Not like for all my players that I've had. Doesn't have to be just my quarterback. So Cole Mantell, the broadcaster and host of this show, how many teams has he played on since joining the CFSL in season 7?
Tank roll Tide.
Cade, roll Tide.
Cade, you went before I said
Good
go.
old
Rocky
You are
Top. Damn
disqualified
it.
from this question. Tank, go right ahead.
I'm thinking because you was an AD for.
Dude, really? You think I've only been on 3
How you
teams?
came in when you were AD? I don't remember. Exactly. You told me. I just don't remember.
I'll give you a hint. It's higher than 3, and with Beard not saying you're the only guy that answers. Unless, Beard, you'd like to buzz in here.
I know the answer, but no.
Oh,
All right.
Tank roll.
abstain.
I don't know how to
Tank,
say that. Tank
all
roll
you.
Tide. Oh my God, cool. Now you making me think.
All right.
7, 11.
So it's higher than 3. I'll give you that because you're the only one that can answer this.
Good old Rocky Top 6. Oh well.
Closer. You're still wrong.
Tank
but,
roll Tide.
Cade
You
can't
said I'm
answer.
closer,
Beard's
so
gonna abstain. Go
Tank
ahead.
roll Tide.
Tank.
Good old Rocky Top 8 or 7.
Yep.
I
go
skipped
ahead.
right over the one. I know I skipped right over the answer probably.
All right. So he did one of those two is the answer. Here's what I'll ask the other two guys because you guys aren't playing on this question. Do you want to just give it to him or do you want to keep going and torturing Tank?
The answer is 8.
The answer is not 8, but go off.
The answer was 7. I'd say give it to him.
So the answer was 7. I'm going to give it to Tank here. He gets the point because literally he's the only guy who can get it right now. So here are the teams. Again, I'll reread the question. How many teams, not how many teams, like how many times I've switched, but how many teams has Cole Mantell played on since joining the CFSL in Season 7? The answers are Florida State, and this is in order, Florida State, Notre Dame, Washington, Miami, and then I actually came back to Washington after playing for LSU, so that's 5, and then Auburn and Michigan State makes it 7.
And LSU makes it 8.
1, 2, 3.
No, LSU was the one.
No,
that made
he's
it
counting
7.
Washington as 1.
Oh, so you're not counting Washington as 2 separate teams.
No, because I played Washington once as a player for a season, and then I was the AD for a season. But I said how
Right.
many teams, not how many different times I've switched.
Oh, that's where I was getting 8. I was counting like every time you've played for a team.
Nope, just how many teams in general. That was why.
No,
It was kind of a trick question.
My bad.
But anyway, all right. So Tank is back in this. Cade again. Next time you get a question right, you win. Now you know. Wait until I say go. Here's a fun one. Oklahoma quarterback, and here's the question. Oklahoma quarterback Timoteo Del Este ran for 215 rushing yards in the former number 1 overall recruit's first CFSL appearance and first CFSL win, making him the number 1 quarterback in rushing yards, obviously not only in quarterback among quarterbacks but among all players. Which quarterback was number 2 in rushing yards in week 1? Go.
I know the answer to this already now. Do, 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 do.
Yeah, but you also are on the sideline, Beard, so I don't really feel bad for you.
Gosh, guys,
Kade
come
roll
on.
tide. Kade roll tide.
All right, Kade?
Good old Rocky Top. Is it Jamison Gold at USC?
It is. And that is our winner, Kade. His first appearance, he wins the Cole Mantell Show Chaos Quiz. Kade, you're going to have to go to your locker room after this podcast is released. You have 48 hours to talk with them and come up with a rule, but you win. Congratulations. How do you feel?
You know, I'm just happy to be here. It's a great group of guys. Real happy that Beard and Tank were here with me to witness this. This was a great crowd. And I tell you what, Beard, I'm gonna try to convince my locker room to do you a solid and get rid of the roll tide.
Like, that's the only way we're play.
But we'll see what happens.
That's the only way.
That's the only way Ware can win.
Oh my God, Beard to play. We have to get rid of the word roll tide. That is just ugly to say. I just do because I have to. I had to, man. It's just.
And yet you keep saying it.
I want to win.
All right. Well, I usually do this, and we are running a little short on time now. I'm already an hour 15 in. We try to keep it around an hour 15. So actually, I mean, right on time. But I will ask all of you. I do this usually in order of the Chaos Quiz. So 30 seconds, no longer. Get to, shout out your team and anything you want to say. 30 seconds, Kade. You get to start.
Shout out my assistant head coach, OG Bobby Johnson, Ryu Rambo. Shout out my offensive coordinator, Bryce Strawn, a.k.a. Eli Riggins. And shout out to who I thought should have been on the Defensive Player of the Week, Rand Rockwell, our defensive captain this year. Shout out Owen Dart as a quarterback. I'll tell you what, we're coming for playoffs this year.
All right, and he keeps it under 30 seconds on his first try. I had a guy go over 2 minutes.
Shout out Grin. Great.
So
this
Tank,
is a big week for us.
30 seconds. Go ahead.
Hopefully we win this game. Shout out Smitty for losing this game for Grin. Shout out everybody on the team. Shout out all my guys. Shout out Sat. I'm doing a sim right now, so I'm kind of looking back and forth. So shout out all my guys. Shout out Zeus. Shout out Wookie. Shout out all my coaches. And yeah, let's do it.
Shouts out Wookie twice. Alrighty then, Tank. Beard, you didn't participate this week in the Chaos Quiz, but I will give you a chance here to shout out your team as well.
Well, I would like to shout out my team because everybody knows who we are, so there's them. But I need to end with this.
The third turnover of the night for this Michigan offense, and now Auburn, maybe they are a second-half team.
Yeah, boy, I hate to say Beard on Blast is right about much of anything, but to this point in the second half, he's absolutely right.
Shout out to Murph. He knows I'm right.
We kind of heard that. For those of you who do not understand, that was I think that was the semifinals last year, right?
It's a clip of it. Worst case scenario, I can send it to you, Cole, and you can just insert it.
Yeah, I'll insert it here before we get off. Have a good one, guys. So I'd like to thank again Justin Duke, the Auburn AD, Kade Padgett, the Texas A&M AD, and Tankasaurusrex, the Florida State recruiting coordinator, for being on this week. This has been the Cole Mantell Show. Next week, we've got a bunch of great games, 12 games in total. Tune in, and then we'll break it all down next Friday, hopefully, and then we'll release on the Saturday. Again, I'd like to thank everybody for tuning in. Don't forget to hit that subscribe button, like, comment, all that fun jazz. I'm not going to be the whole YouTube star here, but I am going to try to encourage you guys. The viewership numbers really do help, and the engagement really does help us get this podcast out there. So, again, thank you all for joining in. Make sure you hit those buttons and tune in. It's going to be another great week of CFSL action. Thanks again, guys, and we'll see you next week.
The third turnover of the night for this Michigan offense, and now Auburn, maybe they are a second-half team.
Yeah, boy, I hate to say Beard on Blast is right about much of anything, but to this point in the second half, he's absolutely right. Auburn has been on fire right downfield for the touchdown, and now the big interception from King.